Hello, hello. How are you? Let me know when you come on. Make sure to say hello. I'm Teresa with Teresa Renee Art. Hope you guys are doing fabulous today. Let's see. Who do we have? Make sure to say hello. Hello, Sue. How are you? Thank you for being here. Today we're going to be talking about candle glue. If you are watching us on the replay, make sure to type in hashtag replay so we know you were here. Good morning, Brenda. Hello, Karen. Hi, Rennie. Hi, Christina. Hello, Betty. Thank you guys so much for joining today. I'm doing fantastic. Hi, Kelly. I am doing fantastic. I am having a great week so far. Hello, Carla. Hello. We'll give it a few more minutes for some of our friends to come on. Hello, Jeannie. Thank you for putting your name. Hello, Kimberly. Hello. Hello, everybody. So we're streaming to 4 different places. We are on the Royal Court Facebook page, my Facebook page, which is Teresa Renee Art, the Royal Court YouTube channel, and my YouTube channel at Teresa Renee Art. Hello, Susanna. All right, so I hope you guys are doing great. We are going to be talking about candle glue today. Hi, Denise. This product was released last year around this time. It was hot, a very, very hot seller. It's still here. These are really, it's a fabulous product, and I have used it actually quite a bit. So I wanted to kind of demonstrate. We didn't really promote this very much last year because it was such a hot ticket item. It kept selling out, and so it was hard for us to get, hard for our retailers to get. But that seems to have leveled off, so it is in good supply. We are able to get it now. So I know plenty of our retailers still have this. If you are one of our retailers and you have it, please share your links so that everybody knows where to find it. So these are really great for, start beginning with fall, kind of these later year holidays, particularly Christmas, fall, Halloween, to be able to kind of create some unique things. This product, it has some really nice properties to it in that it is flame retardant. Okay, so I'm gonna just give you my cautionary safety tips. Number one is, even though it says it is flame retardant, please use good judgment. Don't ever burn a candle unattended, okay? Okay. Can everybody see me and hear me okay? It looks like my internet just flickered a little bit. Hoping connection is fairly good. Okay, hold on one second. I'm going to open this door again. Sometimes when I close myself in here, my connection doesn't want to work, but it seems to be okay. Okay. So the thing with candle glue, it does have flame retardant properties to it. Okay, so there are some steps to use this successfully. And that's why the demo is really important, because I want to show you how to make the most of this. If you don't use it properly, it's not going to work well. So what you need to do is the first thing you want to do is go ahead and put a coat of the candle glue on as a primer and let it dry. Okay, so that's what I did already with these two last night. And I'm about to show you on this third candle how that looks, okay? Sometimes when you're putting this on, and I've got a whole write-up here. Miriam, when she does the blog post, is going to post that as well. Sometimes, because the candle has a waxy surface, the product can have a tendency to pull, like POOL, like to pull up a little bit, and that's normal. It's still getting covered. You don't need to worry. So you can see I'm applying it, and it is pretty liquidy on there, but don't worry, it will dry. So I'm applying this to the side of the candle. You don't need to worry about the top unless you're planning on applying some. Actually, don't worry about the top, just do the sides. But what this product will do, it will allow you to decoupage on here. And it basically will soak into your rice paper so that your rice paper or your napkin become flame retardant. Okay. I have tested this with a candle. It does work. I'm sorry I don't have my burnt candle to show you, but I will talk about what happens. Hello. If anybody has a link to a picture of what happens when it burns, feel free to share that. But basically what happens when it starts to burn and you have it decoupaged with rice paper is the rice paper, the sides will kind of stay intact, and it'll sort of hollow out once it's burning, which makes kind of a really cool effect, because then you have that iridescent, that glow now being captured on the inside. So the tube of it sort of remains intact, and then the wax sort of burns down. It is a really cool effect. If I can find some pictures of it, I will share it. You can use this stuff for more than just decoupage. I'm not going to get into all of that because I will say, quite frankly, some of the other products that I tested with it, like, for example, you can use foils with it after you've primed it as well. But the process doesn't make for the best, the prettiest outcome, I would say. So I probably would just strictly use this. In my opinion, I would strictly use it for decoupage application. Or if I wanted to paint the candle, I would use this as a primer before using acrylic paint. So the first step, regardless of your process, is to do what I just did, which is prime it first and put it to the side. Let it dry naturally. You don't want to heat this, because what happens when you heat up wax, right? It's going to melt. So you don't want to force anything dry here. Just prime it and set it to the side. And I actually did these two last night. I primed them. So these are ready. I primed these two last night and I set them to the side. Okay, so I was going to pick out a couple of rice papers to do these two candles. Good morning. Good morning. And actually, this is the one. I had this in mind because I thought this would be really pretty, the Fur Elise paper. And then the other one I had in mind, we're going to pull it out and see how it looks. It was the Avetta's Moonlight paper. I'm going to pull that out and see how it looks, if I can wrap it around or not. Because I was thinking this one on the big candle, but I'm not sure it's going to go all the way around. So let's see. Let's see. It doesn't quite go all the way around. Wondering if I could sort of patch the back of it together. I mean, I like the look of that. I could maybe, if I had two pieces of it, I might be able to, I don't know. Let's look at it on this one and see. This one might be better. Although you kind of lose I wanted that moon, but you sort of lose the whole, because it's not quite long enough. Let me think about this for a minute. I feel like that might be okay. And then I could just sort of patch in the rest of it with like some of it down here. So maybe I'll do that one here. What do you guys think about this one on the smaller one? And the fur elise, we can sort of patch that one together. Maybe we do, what if we put the fur elise. Oh, because this one is wide. That's why. So this one is wide. So it is going to go all the way around like that for the most part. And then we sort of paint or, okay, so let's do this one for sure. I think this one for sure on the big one. And then this one I think will be okay on the smaller one, and then we'll patch in a little bit of, we'll just patch in a little bit of this part underneath. We'll patch that along here. So this one I think will be okay. What are we going to lose here? So I think I have some room to come up because I want the top of that moon there. So I have a little bit of room to come up, and I'll get most of the bottom of this house. Okay. So I think that's going to work. Let me get my little pencil here. So I'm just sort of, where do I need to cut it at, right? I don't want to lose the top of that house because I got this little pillar here, which I need. So let's fold it there and see. Okay, that's going right up to the edge. I think that's okay. All right, so let's do this. Let's tear this out. We got the top of that moon. We'll tear this out here. Okay. Again, safety, please don't ever, even though it is flame retardant, do not ever please leave a burning candle unattended. This will work on like LED candles also. It'll totally work on those, but you don't need the flame retardant properties on LED candles. So honestly, you could just use regular decoupage glue on an LED. Doesn't have to be any special glue. So if you're worried about safety, then just do that. But I kind of like the idea of burning them down. All right, so hello. Yeah, those would be, that would probably work. I think I'm just going to patch. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to patch. There we go. That works fine. I'm going to patch the bottom and the sides of the remnant of this one. Okay. Good morning, Cindy. Okay, Brenda. Well, you know what? That's what we call being self-aware. Um, and so look, I mean, we all want beautiful things, but safety has to come first. So if you know that about yourself, then don't do it, right? Or just do it and like, don't burn them. Okay. I am like the watchdog in my house. My kids love burning candles, especially at around the holidays. Um, and I am like, as soon as minute they leave the room, I'm blowing them out. I'm the safety watchdog over here. And they're like, Mom. I'm like, look, you walked away. Can't do that. All right. So I am loving this one. I think that's going to be fantastic. I do have 2 sheets of this one. And I also have 2 sheets of this one, so I have another sheet. I can patch it. I can patch it as needed. All right. So if you're going to apply anything else like resin molds or even clay, any molds, for example, then don't burn the candle, guys, because it's not going to safely burn with really anything else like that on it. You should, you can use paint. Pretty much I would limit it to paint, napkins, or rice papers. Hello, Leslie. Okay. I think the cranium paper that she had, that black cranium paper, I think that would be really pretty too. Or, you know what we could do here? This might be kind of fun. What if we sort of mishmashed this into it? I like that idea. We put this one on and then we mishmash that other paper around the sides. I like that. Let's do that, guys. So let's do this one. We'll keep them both kind of Halloween themed. How about that? I like that idea. All right. I'm going to cut this guy. I don't want to lose all that. I don't want to lose anything on this one. I'll use him for something else. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. All right. And this, there's one little 1/4 inch there. Just trying to get some symmetry here. I think that's good. All right. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. And then I got some room up here. Yeah. Yeah, baby. All right. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and get, put all my papers out of the way. We'll go ahead and get this one on like so. Where's my, I've got a little, check this out, you guys. My friend from Scrappy's Rustics makes these. These are little cradles, which are perfect for if you have a candle or something round cylinder like that to keep it stable. So I recommend getting one of those if you don't have it. She actually makes these, I believe. Okay, so if it goes up into the side, that's okay. All right, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. So remember, this has already been primed. And you're using this just like you would regular decoupage glue. The only difference is that you need to prime it first and let it dry completely. And that's going to ensure that you get the maximum flame resistant properties out of it. I like this candle because it is a little bit textured too. It's got some ridges in it. So that is really helping the glue to sink in and adhere really nicely. All right. And then again, you do it just like a sandwich, just like you do regular decoupage. So you had a layer on the bottom and then a layer on the top. And you need to be quite generous and make sure the whole area is covered well. Okay. All right. All right. So just like any kind of regular decoupage glue. All right, I got this little corner here. I'm going to just patch that up with this script here. We have a little box of script that we can camouflage this little corner right here. So I will use that. Got one little side right here. Okay, so camouflage complete. All right, so I'm going to pull this off. I'm going to let that start kind of drying, and then let's move on to this one. Okay, so this one, I'm just going to start right here. I will have to pull this off, but I can at least get it started while it's on the cradle. And get that down like right in the center. Okay. All right. I can actually move it around. Once it gets wet, though, I'm not going to be able to stick it back down. So basically what you can do is like just do the bottom. Do the bottom layer and then pull it off and then finish the top. That would be a good way to do it. Okay. All right. So now let's come in and let's finish off the top. Nice, beautiful layers. I wouldn't decoupage close to that wick, you guys. I'll probably do a little bit of paint up there to blend it, but I wouldn't put any rice paper close to that wick. I just think you're asking for trouble if you do. Plus, you do need to leave some room for it to kind of safely burn down. I would suggest starting with a white candle. I would not suggest trying to take a colored candle, then paint it white and do this. My suggestion would be to start with one that's already white or light. Okay. This will remain, so once it's dry, a common question that I get is the glue actually does have a tendency to remain a little bit tacky. That's perfectly normal. What we tell people is once it's completely dry, what we want you to do is we want you to take some transparent wax, which is yeah, that's not. I have transparent wax. We want you to take transparent wax and rub it all over the top of it. It is a Pentart wax. It doesn't have to be the Pentart wax. It can be any transparent wax. Any like beeswax kind of base product. And you just rub it over the top of the candle. And that's going to reinstate the waxy feel back into the candle. It'd be helpful if I actually had my transparent wax here so you could see it, but I don't. So, all right, I'm going to grab my other sheet of Moonlight so I can start patching here. Because I think some of the sections on this one are probably, well, that might actually work. Let me go grab my other sheet. I was going to just sort of take this skyline and kind of come down vertically like this at an angle. So I'm sort of matching the tones. You know, like the gradation of the color there. I'm sort of matching that to extend it. Okay. I think that'll work just fine. Hello. Hello, hello. who is Sophie and why is she hanging out in your kitchen? All right. Here we go. So just sort of matching up that gradation in the paper. So even though the design doesn't perfectly extend, I can still sort of match up the color pathways and make sure my fluffy edges are being decoupaged in the right direction. Okay. And then let's get a little bit more. Well, I've got some more down here I can use. So I'm just kind of looking for some of those same color patterns. To make the transitions look kind of intentional. And that's how you can use like collage to kind of extend. If you're not comfortable painting to blend, you can still use collage methods with the same exact paper and extend the scene that way. So here I have this dark value. I don't want any building replicated. This is kind of if you're familiar with Photoshop, it's kind of the same concept as like cloning, the clone stamp, if you will. And that's sort of the concept of what we're doing is we're just using our clone stamp to extend the scene. Okay. I got one more here, which is going to kind of tie it all together. Okay, so that's how I would extend the scene using decoupage. These edges will more than likely disappear. If they don't, then it's no big deal, or we could always take a little bit of paint and blend it out that way. But I think I'm pretty happy with that one. Yep, I'm pretty happy with that one. So I'm going to put that off to the side. Once that dries, then what I'll do is I will take my transparent wax and I will cover the whole thing with transparent wax after I've done any painting or blending or whatever it is that I want to do. All right, let's take this one and let's work on. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to take this Burley's paper and I'm going to wrap it around the back of here. And we are going to, which one do I want more? This side. About there. Or at least an A minor. I don't want to lose those words. Or at least an A minor. Okay. About right there. Do that. If I need to cut off more, I can. What do I have here? Oh, it's about right there. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. So that's just going to kind of wrap around the back to continue the seam. This paper is a little bit warmer than this one, but I don't think it matters too much. I think that's okay for what we're doing. We could use the violin paper too. Those ones are kind of similar tones, but I like the Fur Elise better because it's just music. And this is a much softer scene than this one. Or the other thing we could potentially do is do this image along the back side. Let me think about that for a minute. Hold on one second. I'm going to grab I have another sheet of this one, so I'm going to grab that one. That actually might be the thing. Because if I take this one and I do that, I think that might be the thing. Let's do that. And then I can use these little scraps to patch in. And that way my colors are consistent. The Fur Elise would have been a fine choice. Okay, guys. But I'm being a little bit picky because the colors in the Fur Elise paper are a lot warmer than they are in this one, meaning they have more red in it. All right, so I'll just kind of I'm going to kind of get as much as I can of this. And I'm still going to have to do some patching. But that's okay. How tall can I go here? I'm still going to have to do a little bit of patching. But I have enough scraps between the two pages that it won't be a problem. It'll look like it was one solid sheet of paper meant for a candle by the time we're done. So that's how you can take vertical papers and turn them into horizontal. Okay, so this one, it's about there. So if I'm putting my finger there, this is where I want the center of this image to be. That's my fancy measuring method. I'm just actually going to take a little pencil here. It's not exact, but it's about as close as I can get right now. That's the center. I can take, I've got a little too much at the top. All right, so there's my center line. Just gonna tilt that back. How's that looking? That looks pretty good. So this one's gonna be kind of reversible, guys. So yes, so you're gonna be able to tilt the candle either direction, and it's gonna look a little bit different as it burns down from the center. I got these candles at Target. They're like I don't know if it's Target brand or what, but that's where I got them. And I'm just trying to be careful because I have wet glue on the other side. So I don't want to be touching that side right now. Ideally, you know, you'd wait for one side to dry and then do the next side. But when you're on a live, you do not have such luxuries. Okay. So now I can. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take the remnants of both papers and I'm going to fill in with scraps to complete the scene. Spooky, spooky. All right. So first I'll start here. Actually, let me start with this down here. Get as much of this as I can. Bring my little creepy caterpillar in there. Hey, Linda. Nice to see you. So again, when you're applying these little scrap remnants, make sure to move your brush in the direction of the little tears, the edges. So start in the middle, push out. Start in the middle, push out. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? All right, and I gotta lose this guy. He's covering up my. Okay. And then this one needs to be a little bit narrower so I don't cover up my beetle there. I watched the movie Beetlejuice with the original. My daughters are wanting to see the new one coming out, so we watched the old one, the one with Winona Ryder, this past weekend. It's always fun to go back and revisit some of those old school movies. They weren't terribly impressed. I'll just put it that way. Kids today are so spoiled with all the high-tech graphics and special effects, you know. We also watched the original Star Wars last night. And my daughter was like, "Do we have to watch this?" She loves Star Wars, but she's more of a fan of the newer ones and less so of the older ones. So I'm kind of tearing this around here. I'm just trying to get my paper torn out before I start gluing. This can go down here. I think that worked just fine. Okay, I think we're good. I think we have enough scraps to complete it now. So let me I'll do this side first. So while I'm finishing here, any questions? What are your questions about candle glue, you guys? Feel free to ask them. I just remember being so nervous about this product when it came out. Like, is it going to work? Oh my gosh, I can't believe that they did this, like this is awesome. We can finally decoupage candles that we can burn, but I have to test it and make sure it really works. And sure enough, it really worked. So I was like, at one point I was like, I don't even know if I want to sell it, because what if it doesn't work? What if somebody doesn't follow directions? I had a lot of doubt, I should say, but in the end, everything worked out fine. I'm going to put that creepy caterpillar right there. I'll put him right there. And then Nancy and I, we were like very strict on telling people never leave a burning candle unattended. So far, I think we've covered the bases. Okay. Does it burn without any crackling? The paper itself will not burn. So what happens is the paper is not going to burn. What happens is as it starts to burn, the wax, it sort of will hollow out the middle, and the paper along the sides gets left intact. So it sort of creates like a hollow cylinder. It leaves a shell. The paper does not burn. Yeah. So that's the whole point, is like we're not trying to get the paper to burn safely. We're trying to get it not to burn at all. And that's exactly what happens, is it just doesn't burn at all, which is awesome. Okay, so I think this one is pretty well done too. I think we have that looking just about as good as we can. Once it's fully dry, like I said, I may come in and do a little bit of touch up to it. But for now, I think that looks good. So here's our moonlight candle. And if I can find some pictures of how it looks burning, I will post those. If I can't, I will just go ahead and burn one down so I can share the pictures with y'all. And then here is our Vonatoff. Okay, so I think we did pretty good, you guys. That is it for the candle glue demo. What other questions do y'all have? Yes, you can use napkins. It will work with napkins as well, for sure. And there's a whole write-up here. You can use rub-on pigment with it, colored foil with it. I will tell you, I did try to use colored foil with it, and what happened when I went to apply the wax over the top, the whole thing got kind of dulled down, so I didn't like the look of it. Then it tells you, let's see, it tells you some things. You can apply clear wax over the top of if you wanted to use some pigment powders or art micas or glitters, you can do that as well. Same concept. You put the base layer on, paint it, then apply some wax over the top. So lots of things you can do for sure, but the things that you can't do are like, don't use velvet powder and burn it. Don't use molds and burn it. Don't use anything that's like 3-dimensional or anything like that. All right. So any other questions, you guys? If not, we are going to end it here. Hey, Robin. Robin, I'll see you in a little while. Okay. You guys, any other questions? If not, that's where we'll leave it. Next week is going to be paint, all the various types of paint. I got to talk to Nancy and see if she can cover for me. So I won't be able to make it next week. Okay, you guys. All right. Take care. Bye, everybody.